Hey guys, sorry for the abrupt ending earlier. I just kind of wanted to jump back on with you for a couple of minutes and cap off my video from earlier, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are wanting to know, the fact that I did go and I took Kratom this weekend on my trip to Boston, what I feel like, how it's gone for me, how today's been, whether I'm still taking it. I'm sure that's the biggest question, and the answer to that is no. My stance on Kratom is still the same. I still feel like that taking it regularly on an ongoing basis, every day, multiple times a day, I still feel like that's not a good move for a person like myself. So I've not taken any Kratom today. I did take it this weekend. And I also did take a little bit yesterday because I still had some left over, and I was home, I was off with my wife, so I did take some yesterday. But when I woke up this morning, I'm going Kratom free again. I haven't had any Kratom today. I'll not take any Kratom today, nor tomorrow, nor the next day. So I don't know exactly what my plan is. I still hold true to the fact that, I'm not going to sit here and say I'll never take Kratom again. I'm sure I probably will. But, it's definitely one of those things where I'm going to be a person from here on out who will be putting days and days and days and days in between my use to ensure that I'm not getting physically dependent upon it, to ensure that I'm not causing my tolerance to go through the roof. Because, for example, I went this weekend and I went kind of on a bender, right? I was off of Kratom for, 27 days in total, so almost a month total that I was completely off of it. And so, with being off that kind of timing, I wasn't having any physical withdrawals with not taking it today. So I took it for a few days this past weekend. When I woke up today, I wasn't having any physical withdrawals, okay? Whereas I was when I had been taking it for several years straight, and then I went to stop and just completely quit like a cold turkey situation. I was definitely having some physical withdrawals. So I haven't had that, but that's just because, I haven't had a chance to build back up a tolerance yet. Being off for 27 days, that completely reset my tolerance. And, now that I've stopped again, I'm not having any physical withdrawals. With that said, I am all about complete honesty and complete transparency on here. With that said, waking up this morning after using Kratom pretty heavily for several days this weekend, and then all of a sudden not taking it, I definitely had some of the low energy, a little bit of the low mood, I'd say a little bit of the anhedonia. I wouldn't call it depression, it was kind of a temporary sort of thing, but I will say that I probably, up until right around 2:30, 3 o'clock today, something like that, I kind of felt kind of shitty, to be honest with you. And there is something that people talk about called a Kratom hangover. For me, that didn't really manifest in a physical sort of way, but for me, that Kratom hangover, the realness of it manifested more in low mood, low energy. I can tell my dopamine levels are tanked because I've been, firing at those receptors all weekend. And so that was kind of the real part of it for me. Is that going to affect whether I ever use it again? No, I'm not going to say that. But I do admit that if you're a person who has previously had trouble with overusing or abusing something like Kratom, then you come off of it, and then you take it again. Let's say you go on a bender and you use a decent amount of it, and then you come off again. I do feel like it is tough for that person to be able to use Kratom again and not feel somewhat guilty. right? Because that's one of the questions that I know people have. How do you feel? You know, you feel guilty about it? Do you regret it? I think there's no simple answer to that, but I think the short answer is yes and no. It is what it is. I did it. It's in my past. I had actually planned on doing it. I said I was going to do it, and so I did it. You know, but I'm not the type of person to live in regret. And I think it's one of those things that if you sometimes don't bend, you break. And, you know, and that's what I did. I stand by the fact that I feel like I probably had a better time overall having taken some this weekend. Now, did that come at a little bit of a cost? It did. Admittedly, it did. I always have trouble on long weekends. You know, by example, when I go on vacation, and I go on vacation for 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, or I'm off work for a whole week around Christmas time. And then I have to come back that following Monday after being off for a whole week. That following Monday, when I wake up in the morning to go to work, sucks ass for me. Just to be completely transparent, I do not like it. I like being at home. That's where I'm the most comfortable. That's where I enjoy myself the most. So when I'm not at home, or when I am at home, or when I'm on some sort of vacation for a while, and then I all of a sudden have to pick back up and go back into work and start all the adult responsibilities again, that somewhat sucks for me. And so this weekend, having been off for several days, on top of binging Kratom over the weekend, I definitely, when I woke up this morning, was just like, you know, kind of low mood, definitely kind of low energy. You know, I think some of that is the using Kratom, and then sleeping without it that night, and then waking up on that fourth day after using it for 3 days straight and not using it. You know, I think there was definitely some of that. That was definitely part of the cause of the low mood. But also, you know, I got off work at 12 o'clock on Friday, had a very fun, fascinating, fun-filled weekend, driving to Boston, making a road trip with my son, going to this really exciting UFC. I got to meet the father of the bantamweight UFC champion. He's actually the guy that's in the thumbnail of my video with myself and my son. You know, just had a really, really fun experience. And then you have to come back to reality, and then you have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and go back and do your adult responsibilities at your job, where you don't get me wrong, I appreciate my job, and I'm not going to say I don't enjoy my job. I think my job is as enjoyable as possible for what a job is, you know, for a person who's not doing exactly what they want to do in life. You know, there's very few people in life who get to do absolutely what they love doing and get paid for it. There's a very small percentage of the population that get to do that. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people. It's not that I don't like my job, but if you ask me, would I rather be getting paid to do something else? I mean, come on. You know, I'm just being honest, just being transparent. It is what it is, you know. And so having to wake up this morning and go back to that adult responsibility obviously was a little like, oh, but it wasn't any physical withdrawals. I haven't felt sick or any, you know, no cold chills, no achy body, or, you know, nothing like that. It's just been, oh, the fun's over, the Kratom binge is over. Now it's back to, you know, pinpoint focus and going back to your job every day. And it's just one of those. But hey, you know, my goals are still the same. I'm still planning to continue staying off of Kratom, try to allow my brain to heal off of it, and we'll just see what happens moving forward. But I just kind of wanted to assure you guys who have been watching me for a little while, I know a lot of you probably had some concerns. Oh, he's going to go and he's going to use Kratom, he's going to come back and he's going to be on the Kratom again, he's not going to want to stop. No, I do want to stop. I do want to continue to stay stopped, because it was good, it was fun, but is it really worth it? Getting back to a place where I'm using it all the time, and then I have trouble coming off of it, and then I'm sick and going through withdrawals coming off of it. It's not worth it. So for me, using it more than just a day here and there, a couple of days here and there, every once in a while, doing it any more than that, for me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, and I don't intend to do that. But anyway, back off of it again. Guess I'm on day 1. I can't call it day, 31 or 32, whatever it is, because I went on a bender this weekend, admittedly. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love and support out there. A lot of guys out there try to make me feel better. Oh, it's not that bad, bro. You're still good. You should be fine. Just stay off of it, So I appreciate you guys not dragging me through the cold for having a weak moment, or a weak few moments this weekend. Can't really call it a weak moment when it lasted for 3 days. But anyway, it is what it is. It's in the past. That's why they call it the past. I'm looking forward. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to kick myself over it. And anyway, love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.